Welcome in the last video about the circle of fifths. So far I've covered the right side of the circle, and you can find the playlist here. In this playlist I talked about few things: relative keys, which is switching between major and minor scales when using the same notes, pattern for adding sharps, and connection between chords and scale names. To finalize this series, I will cover the same topics, but for flats instead of sharps. So I will go left this time. Okay, so the first topic, relative keys. It is switching between major and minor scales. This works exactly the same regardless of using sharps or flats. So in my previous video about relative keys, I talked about going 3 semitones to the left when you switch from major to minor scale. And this works exactly the same for the whole circle of fifths. So 3 semitones to the left from C gives you A, and you can see that relative key to C major is A minor. 3 semitones from F gives you D, and again, relative key to F major is D minor, and so on. Second topic was about pattern for adding flats. Patterns are much easier to remember than some list of notes, and in the circle of fifths you can find a pattern. So both sharps and flats have some order, and when you add one sharp or one flat, they will stay in the next scales. So here when you add second flat, the one from the previous scale is also there. Okay, for sharps, the pattern started with F sharp, and it went like this. For flats, it's quite similar. This time you start with B flat, and this is something that you need to remember. First flat is B flat. As in my previous video, let's focus on those two groups of black keys, this one and this one. In the pattern for flats, you hit last black key in this group, then last black key in that group, then next one in this group, and next one in this group, and again next one in this group, and we have no more black keys here. Okay, so far we have this. And now last two flats will be on the white keys. In the pattern for sharps, I talked about the places where two white keys are next to each other, here and here. To easily remember which one of those are in the pattern, you can relate it to the direction of the circle of fifths. For flats we are going left, so notes on the left side in those two groups will be used. So in the end we have this. Okay, let's try this pattern. C major doesn't have any flats, so I will skip it. Next we have F major. From the pattern, we know that the first flat is B flat. So F major scale starts with F, and I will use all white keys except for this B, because according to the pattern, B is switched to B flat. Next one is B flat major. Here we have two flats, and we know from the pattern that those two flats will be B flat and E flat. So all B notes are moved to B flat, like before, because all flats that already have been added remains, and the new one is E flat. So all E notes are switched to E flat. Then we have E flat major with 3 flats, so from the pattern we know it will be E flat, A flat and B flat. Then A flat major with 4 flats. Then D flat major with 5. So all black keys. Then G flat major with 6. So here we have our flats. And the last one, C flat major with 7. So all 7 flats. Okay, so just remember the pattern and you will know how to build scales with flats. Last part is about remembering scale names. You can directly use the order of adding flats to find names of all scales, but it only works when you go left from F major. It doesn't work when going from C major to F major, but I will get back to it in a minute. The perfect fifth interval has 7 semitones. So if you go back 7 semitones from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you will finally hit F, which is obvious since it is the circle of fifths. But this F is also here, and you can notice that it is fourth step in the C major scale. C major scale has all white keys, and F is on the fourth step. So to go left in the circle of fifths, think of the fourth step in the scale. Okay, since we are now in F major, look how easy it is to find scale names using the pattern for flats. Here are the notes from the pattern, and here are the scale names. Can you see the relation between them? In F major, we added one flat, and from the pattern, we know that the first flat is B flat. And this B flat is the name for the next major scale. So we are now in B flat major. In B flat major, there are two flats. We already added one B flat, and from the pattern, we know that the second one will be E flat. This second flat, E flat, is the next major scale. In E flat major, there are three flats, and from the pattern, we know that the third one is A flat. So A flat major is the next scale. Okay, that was the last video about the circle of fifths. I hope that understanding it after seeing my few videos will be much easier. See you next time.